Bonsai Anonymous here, and is so often the case. I spent 20 minutes trying to set up this, this bastard phone holder. And I tried to set it up on the inner side of my canopy. You see my little man up here that grabs things? Well, unfortunately, all the grabbing and the playing that I did with it meant I shut it off many, many, many times for a total of about 10 seconds worth of video. So, this is the second try at the first video on fixing this Chimenea. That's okay. I missed some of the futzing, which is always a valuable thing to have in a video, but I'll show you what I did. First of all, I took this drill and with a masonry bit. That's a masonry bit right on the end there. And first of all, I checked to see that this piece of the Chimenea that fell off on my foot yesterday is still kind of going here. It'll go in. And I can probably tap it enough to break the whole thing, but we'll see. So anyway, I made sure it would wrestle its way back in there somewhat. Then I brushed away all the ash. I mean, I actually saw a guy do this with a fire burning in his Chimenea, which is, all I can say is I can't get very close to my Chimenea when it's burning. And another one gave me a clue. He said that his fire was too hot in the Chimenea, and that's why it cracked. Of course, the fire I have in here is as hot as I can possibly make it. But I like sitting in front of it. I always wanted a fireplace, and we've had a fireplace once. Where was it? Yeah, it was in Greeley. We moved into a basement apartment, which was so luxurious. I mean, I was really, I couldn't believe it. We lived in one place, which was really nice. Little 3 bedrooms, kitchen and a bathroom in the basement. It was very nicely done. Small bedrooms, little living room area. I would live there again in a second. But the second place we moved to, and I don't remember why we moved from the first. I think it was the third place we lived in. Anyway, I'm confused about Greeley, but the truth is that I can't remember what I'm talking about. So anyway, this is a Chimenea that broke, and I drilled the holes, and if I keep talking, I might remember what I'm talking about. So I saw guys, as I say, doing this with fire in there. I can't do that, but so what I'm going to do, first of all, I watched a bunch of videos, and this is a combination of maybe 3 of them. The valuable things I learned, number one is, when I first looked at this, I was trying to think of a way to wire across this gap. And that's just not happening. You know, it works up here to fix the cracks, but you got to put wood in, so it can't be across that. So I said, how can I do that? Can I just cement it in there and hope it stays? Well, one guy came with a good answer, and I thought he was going to stop with the wire, but he said, I'll drill holes and I will put copper wire. I don't have any copper wire. This is aluminum. I hope it will work, and I think it will. It's bonsai wire. It better work. It cost me a lot of money. Anyway, drill holes, put the wire in, and then twist the wire to seal it up. And he did that, tightened it up, and then I think he put concrete over the whole thing. And that worked just great, I think. But never, always a fan of overkill. I kept watching. And one guy used Bondo to put in the gap, and he didn't wire it. He used Bondo and braced it somehow, and that worked well. Another guy used something called refractory masonry, which I don't know how strong it is, but it's used on the inside of kilns and ovens and things like that. Evidently it's high heat. So that's another thing he did that I saw. And I'm gonna combine these. So first of all, I checked to see it would work. I drilled the holes, got my wire ready. I clipped the wire with the bonsai tool. Sorry, bonsai. And I'm gonna use this, which is a bonsai plier, to do these. And how you do it is, I'll show you, I'm not going to do it right now, but you get a hold of here, and then you pull and twist. Okay, and you keep doing that. And as you pull, you can't do it without pulling, because if you don't pull, it's just one's going to just wrap around the other. It's really ugly. I've done that many times. But if you pull evenly, it'll get all the way down to the bottom. It'll have a nice little twist. And then, there's an example of it curling over on itself. That's not quite as bad, but once it gets down here, it's not gonna give out. So I could bend this down here, or if I wanted to, there's all sorts of things I could do. But in fact, I managed to loosen it by doing that. So let's tighten it back up. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so having that little extra plug there helps you make it tight. And of course, you don't want to make it too tight because then you'll end up with more of this. Okay, so what's my plan? This is in here loose. This isn't. This one is a crack. You know, it doesn't continue, and this isn't broken, I don't think. So one guy just filled the crack in with JB Weld. And in this particular case, I might have to do that because there isn't much of a crack there. And hopefully that, plus the refractory cement or whatever else I do, will make that less apt to just break off. And it could easily just crack off down here, and then I'll have to put more JB Weld in. So hopefully that'll happen 5 years from now or more, when I won't have to be thinking about it anymore. So anyway, I figure that with my memory loss, 5 years that's kind of an outside window. Because of what I'm reading, you can read all sorts of horror stories on the internet, and that would be that once you're diagnosed, you have 5 years, and the answer to that is don't get diagnosed. Ha ha. Anyway, I'm not diagnosed except by myself, and I know what I remember what I don't. Okay, so continuing. So I'm going to mix up some JB Weld. I found out that it is heat resistant, very heat resistant. In fact, as I said on my failed video, some people have actually claimed to use JB Weld to fix an engine block, which is high heat, I think. But anyway, I'm gonna if any of this is any good still. I notice every one's been opened. That seems to usually that suggests that one or more of them went bad, and possibly all of them. I had some really good JB Weld high heat that got a little too close to itself and ended up being a rock. I had to throw that out. Claims this is high heat enough. It's not really usually hot enough out here to burn much. Most of the wood that ends up out in this part is first of all, the screen protects it, and I don't think that that's going to get that hot. I guess we'll see. All right, so next, the next step is to mix up some JB Weld and see where we go from there. I do not have any refractory mortar yet, so that'll have to wait, but that's okay. The rest of this, the JB Weld has to solidify and blah blah blah, and see if I get anywhere with any of that. Okay, so this is Bonsai Anonymous out, video number 1, and it's a num video of trying to fix this Chimenea, and I'm not going to re-record it again because of that stupid gaff, as we say. That's a word I never learned until I started to make a lot of them. Bonsai Anonymous out.